Staying away from an abusive narcissist that you've gone no contact with can be one of the most difficult things that you'll ever have to do. But why is it? It can be so hard to explain to other people why there's this compulsion or this intense temptation to reach out to somebody that hurt us so deeply. In this video, I want to go over the reasons that this is in a way that can help others make sense out of it, but most important, in a way that can help you understand why you feel this way if this is something that you are struggling with. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. To anyone who has never experienced separating from somebody who has been abusive, this might make no sense at all when you feel this overwhelming urge or temptation to reach out to somebody that has abused you. Because to someone who's never experienced it, it's really simple. It's like this person treated you horribly. They were awful to you. Maybe you were even in extreme physical danger. Maybe you just barely got out by the skin of your teeth, and now you want to talk to this person. You want to work things out with them. You want to see them. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to make contact with someone that was so horrible to you? But of course, there's so much more to it, and there are real valid reasons, none of them healthy and none of them fun, that can give you this overwhelming, almost irresistible urge to reach out to a narcissistic, abusive person. I hope that as I explain several reasons that this happens, that this can help you overcome this urge if this is something you are struggling with. Because making contact or reestablishing contact with somebody who has abused you is almost never a good idea. Or rather, it's almost never something that's going to help you heal or move on in any way. So understanding why you might be feeling this way can be a really helpful tool in understanding how you can overcome this temptation to do something which will almost certainly make things worse. So one reason that this happens is the narcissist in your life often was someone who implicitly or explicitly promised to fulfill some kind of deep need that you had. Whether this need was friendship or belonging or love, companionship, or maybe something more material, maybe somebody that could support you financially or help you raise kids that you had by yourself, or offer you some sort of support that you need with maybe a disability or something like that. Whatever it was, and there could be all kinds of things that this could apply to. The narcissist might have been someone who you looked to as the solution to a very deep problem that you had, either emotionally or physically. Somebody who could fulfill this need that you had. And of course, with a narcissistic person, this never goes quite right. This need that you have is either never quite fulfilled, or it is fulfilled, but it costs far more than whatever the need was. So if you needed companionship, maybe the narcissist does spend a lot of time with you. Maybe they do fulfill this need of companionship, but now you're paying all their bills for them and they are constantly yelling at you and belittling you. And so it's not really worth the trade-off, right? And then, of course, there are narcissists that will promise to fulfill certain needs for you and then just never do it, or give you breadcrumbs of it, or maybe fulfill these needs in the beginning of the relationship and then pull them all back and leave you longing for more. And that is why it can be so tempting to reach back out to a narcissist that you have cut off contact with, or that has cut off contact with you, is because just because they didn't deliver on these needs, or just because these needs cost more than they were worth, doesn't make these needs go away. You still need whatever it was that got you into this relationship in the first place. And so now you're left hurt, probably worse off than you were before, and you still have this unfulfilled need. So where else do you look for the fulfillment of this need than the person that was supposedly going to fulfill this for you? It's like going back to a dry well looking for water because you have no water and you still need water. What better place to look than this well that is supposed to have water in it? Of course, you're going to keep going back to it, trying to fulfill this need you have. I think it takes more than a couple tries of looking for water in the dry well before you finally accept that your need is not going to be fulfilled by looking in this same place. You know, the first time the bucket comes up dry in this well, you're not going to just walk away from it and say, okay, well, I guess I better go find where I can fulfill this need in a completely different place. Of course, you're going to keep going back to the place that was supposed to be the solution for you, that was supposed to be the place where you find this need met. And on top of all this, if this need was an emotional one, after the relationship ends or after you're separated from the narcissist for whatever reason, you know, you have this added pain on top of this unfulfilled need. And this can make you even more desperate than you were before to fulfill this need. And, you know, you're not going to be thinking clearly. And so, of course, you're going to feel this overwhelming urge to reach out to this person that might be able to help you with this thing that you need. Now, another reason that you might feel the urge to reach out to a narcissist is the way that these relationships often end. Maybe you're the one who ended the relationship, but sometimes when the narcissist is the one who ends the relationship, they can completely blindside you. They can just text you on some random Thursday afternoon and say, hey, I'm not coming home tonight or ever. And they've just moved in with some other person that they've been dating for the last 3 months, and you had no idea any of this was going on. The way that narcissists end relationships can be so shocking, so jarring, that of course we're left with all these questions, with this confusion, with this pain, and we want answers, and we want acknowledgement, and we want for things to make sense. It's like someone's come along and just lopped off one of our limbs with no warning, no explanation. And yeah, we want to understand what happened, because to us, it was like our whole world was just turned upside down overnight for no reason, and we never saw it coming. So who is going to explain this to us? Who is going to help us make sense out of this better than the person that did it to us, right? So of course we're going to feel this urge to reach out to this person, no matter how badly they've hurt us, hoping that maybe they can give us a little something to help us feel sane again, or to help us understand where we went wrong, or what happened. Now, relationships can end rather suddenly in non-narcissistic ways for non-narcissistic reasons, but I think when a narcissist does this, whether you're the one that kicks them out or whether they're the one that just leaves, the way that a narcissistic relationship ends is usually full of a lot of shocks and surprises. Like, you never knew this person. And then on top of that, no matter how blatantly they have hurt you and abandoned you and broken their promises to you, they are always going to turn it around to be your fault. And I think that's really the big difference between a non-narcissistic person ending a relationship and a narcissistic person ending a relationship, because a narcissist has always got to make it your fault. Even if the narcissist was cheating on you and just blatantly lying to you and then just left you with no warning and absolutely no empathy, they have to make that your fault somehow. And that makes it so much more painful, because on top of whatever incredibly hurtful thing they did, now they're treating you like you are the enemy, like you're the one that hurt them, like you're the one that did all of this. And that can make it all so much more confusing, so much more painful. So of course we're going to reach out to them, or want to reach out to them, because it's so hard to believe that this person that maybe we spent years with would do this to us and would honestly walk away from something that we thought was so important in such a hurtful way without offering any kind of acknowledgement or empathy or validation of any kind. So of course we're going to want to keep reaching out. I think we can compare this or call it grief, part of the grief process, because when a relationship with a narcissist ends, it can feel very much as if someone has suddenly died that we didn't expect. That just, we got that phone call and we found out that someone was just gone with no warning, no explanation. And part of the grief process, or two stages, are denial and bargaining. And I think this is exactly what's happening sometimes when we have this desperate urge to try to reason with the narcissist that ended this relationship, or that we've separated from in such a sudden, shocking, hurtful way. It's really hard to accept that this has really happened and that this person really did this to us and that they really think it's our fault. And so that's part of the denial. It's really hard to accept that. And so of course we want to go back and try to talk sense into this person, because we think surely there must be just some kind of misunderstanding here. If I can just explain it the right way, or if we can just talk this out, then there must be some other explanation. So there's the denial, and then of course there's the bargaining, which is really kind of similar when we're dealing with a narcissist that's hurt us in this way. If we could just talk things through, then maybe they'll stop lying about us, or maybe they'll stop doing whatever hurtful thing they're doing, trying to ruin us financially, trying to sabotage our relationships with our friends or our kids, or whatever. If we can just bargain with them, surely they can't really mean to hurt us as much as they are. But unfortunately, when we're dealing with pathologically narcissistic people, when they end a relationship, or when you end a relationship with them, they have to make it your fault, period. And they do not care how much that hurts you. And they do not care how much of it actually is their fault. They are absolutely 100% focused on avoiding all accountability and making you the bad guy at all costs. Even if it hurts their children, even if it hurts everyone else they know, all they care about is making it your fault at any cost imaginable. And that is so hard to accept, so hard to process, that of course it's going to be really difficult to resist the urge to reach out and try to work things out with somebody that's done this. And this is really closely related to another reason that we might find it very difficult not to make contact with the narcissist, and that is to correct misunderstandings, or to clear up lies, or to defend ourselves, basically, because as I just said, narcissists are 100% committed to making everything your fault. So however they can twist things, the half-truths they tell, or the complete lies they tell, whatever they have to do to make you look like the bad guy, they are going to do that. They're going to do that to you, and they're going to do that to everyone else they know. So they will lie about you, or tell half-truths about you to your face, to you, to try to convince you that you don't even remember things the right way, or you don't even know what it is you did, but they do. And then they'll tell everybody else you know about how awful you are, or some little thing you did in isolation, out of context, right? They will do anything they can to convince you, and especially themselves, that they are blameless and that this is all your fault. So it is totally natural and normal to really, really, really want to correct all of this, and to defend yourself, and to write these lies, and to let people know the truth. And this is a really, really difficult one. And this is a very powerful weapon that a narcissist will use to control you, is this need to defend yourself, which is totally natural and normal. Of course you want to defend yourself, but a narcissist will use that very natural urge to control you, to keep control of you long after they've gone. It's really important to remember, if this is happening to you, that the narcissist knows the truth. You do not need to explain it to them. They were there too. There's nothing wrong with their memory. There's nothing wrong with their hearing or their vision. I mean, unless there is, but they know what happened. And when they're lying about these things or misrepresenting them, they know they're doing that on some level. Now, they are trying to twist things around to make themselves look good and to make themselves feel better about it. So they're lying to themselves in a way, but they know what happened. And when you come in and try to explain it to them, you're telling them things they already know. You're telling them things that they've already twisted around in their head. And when you just tell them what they already know again, they're just going to put it through the same filter and twist it around the same way that they already have. And there is absolutely no reason for them to ever acknowledge the truth or to ever admit to what reality is and what actually happened, because all they have to do is just insist on their version of reality and just insist on continuing to misunderstand and misremember things, and they keep control of you by doing that. If they admit to reality and acknowledge what actually happened, now suddenly they've given control back over to you. And there's absolutely no reason that they would ever want to do that. So if you're in this situation, it feels like you can regain control of the narrative by correcting them and by fighting against the things they're saying, when in reality, the only way to really regain control of the situation and take your power back is to ignore them and let them say whatever nonsense they want to say. Let them tell whatever lies they want to tell. And if people just believe them, and if people reject you because of what they're saying, of what someone else is saying about you, those people aren't worth your time and effort anyway, and those people aren't concerned with the truth either. The people that are worth your time, the people that are worth the effort of explaining things to, are people that will give you the benefit of the doubt to begin with, are people that aren't going to just listen to what the narcissist says and write you off because of whatever story is going around. You don't need to worry about defending yourself against these lies as much as it feels like you need to. And the more that you actively try to fight against the things that are being said and the way things are being misrepresented, the more gasoline you throw onto this already volatile situation. So another piece of advice I can give you if you're struggling with this is, if you're in that moment where you're all fired up and you're writing a big long text message or email with this big long explanation of what actually happened and what they actually said and what they actually did, just wait a day before you send it. Go ahead and write it all you want, but just don't do anything as a knee-jerk reaction. Just give it some time. Just let something simmer. Just sleep on it. And often, once you've gathered your senses back together, it can be a lot easier to see a little more clearly that this person is trying to get a reaction out of you. This person is trying to get you to act crazy. They're probably showing your text messages and stuff to anybody who will see them, and they're probably showing them things out of context to try to back up the story that they are telling people. So ignore the narcissist as much as you can. And don't let them know that they still have control over your emotions if they do. And the more you ignore it, the less power you give to it, the less you feed it, the faster it will stop and the faster it will go away. Now, one more reason that you might feel compelled to reach out to a narcissist that you've separated from is that recovering from an abusive relationship, especially if you were in some kind of trauma bond with this person, can be one of the most emotionally excruciating experiences of your life. And I don't think this is something we talk about enough as a society. I don't think there's enough awareness about this, but the pain can be truly indescribable, just absolutely unbearable emotional pain when we separate from someone that we had a trauma bond with that was abusive. When this relationship we thought we were going to be in for the rest of our life is just suddenly whacked off and we're blamed for it. Or this person that we loved so much, that meant so much to us, ended up being someone that we never even knew. Just the way these relationships end, the heartbreak, the confusion, these unfulfilled needs that are suddenly unfulfilled again, it can just be so unbearably painful. And there's no shortcut to processing this pain. There's no healthy way to make the pain go away. This is like a furnace that you have to walk through, and it can be so tempting to reach out to the narcissist because it seems like the narcissist is the only person that can make you feel better. And really, in a sense, they are, because if they would just acknowledge what they did, or just show a little empathy, or just validate the experience, help you feel a little less crazy, it would help to make that pain go away almost instantly. It would be the most powerful way, or the most effective way to numb that pain. And so it's really, really tempting to reach out to the narcissist thinking that they can make this pain go away, and believing sometimes that they're the only one that can make this pain go away. It can feel like you're going to be in pain for the rest of your life, and the only person that can ever make you feel better is the narcissist. So of course it's really difficult to resist the urge to reach out to this one person that can make you feel better. But of course, this is just one more way that narcissists maintain control over you, because they're never going to give you what you really need. They might give you a little breadcrumb of it here and there. They might give you one day where they make you feel better and the pain goes away, and you have this rush of relief, and then everything starts up all over again, and everything goes right back to the way it was, or worse. It's never a long-term solution, and that pain will always come right back. And of course, a narcissist will use this need you have and this pain that they have caused to continue to control you indefinitely, as they do with all these other manipulation tactics. So I hope that all these explanations can help you explain to others, and most especially to explain to yourself, why it is that it can be so difficult to resist the urge to reach out to someone that's hurt you so deeply. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you're a human being with vulnerabilities and needs, and you're capable of making meaningful emotional connections with other people. And these connections are not connections that you can just whack off like a limb and not feel bad about, just get over overnight without some kind of validation or somebody to talk to. You're a human being, and you have to trust some people in order to have relationships in your life. You have to trust some people in order to get your needs met. And so you just happened upon somebody that exploited all of that, that exploited your humanity. And it's perfectly understandable, natural, and normal that your reaction would be one that might actually just make things worse in a situation like this, because it's such, because it's not a type of situation that any of us should really ever have to deal with. And all that being said, I also want to remind any of you out there struggling with this, that the person who hurt you can never be the person to heal you. The person that did this to you, that left you in this awful state, is never the person that's going to make the pain go away in a healthy, lasting way. They don't have the solution for you. They're the one that did this to you, and they can't and they won't fix it. And I know how painful this can be, but I want you to know that this pain will go away. You can walk through this furnace. You can get through this pain to the other side. No matter how long it takes, you can get there. But reaching out to the person who hurt you is not going to speed things up. It's not a shortcut. It will always only slow you down. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.